The mentorship program provided us with an extensive list of mentors, so roughly 30 plus mentors. All have positions very different in industry. So in my experience, I didn't feel like I was assigned a one specific person. Instead, I was able to choose from the extensive list and see who I connected with the best and who fit my interests the best as well. So it wasn't assigned, it was more like an exploratory and a more matching process that was very specific to my needs and not necessarily just in general to a student.
To provide some context, I started the program as finishing up my 5th year in PhD program. So I was starting to think seriously about whether I wanted to stay in academia or to transition into industry. And for me, I realized I really didn't know much about industry. So going into the program, I wanted to become more informed about my options in industry and to explore careers in general. So going in, when we were presented with a long list of 50-odd mentors, I was really pleased to see a lot of people in the types of jobs I'd be interested in. And so I picked mentors based on where they were working, but also their exposure to academia as well, which are the choices I was trying to choose between. So I was lucky to pair up with someone who had experience both at a big pharma company and was currently working at a research institute. And he was incredibly helpful in helping me understand the diversity of jobs in industry and kind of dispelled certain myths I had about going into industry in a pipeline that really only shunts you in one direction and you're stuck doing that forever. Talking to him, I was really able to appreciate the diversity of career moves you can make in industry, where you go in, you become interested in the business side perhaps, and you can actually shift laterally in a big company. And so overall, I feel like I was coming out of the program, I feel much more informed about my decisions and much more comfortable making a choice.
The biggest benefit I've had from working with my mentor has been building confidence in my transferable skills. I've really learned the strengths that I've built throughout my thesis work that would make me an asset to a company. And importantly, I've learned how to really flex those skills on my resume and through the interview process in order to demonstrate how important of an employee I'll be to a future employer.
It was, for me, very beneficial to have this kind of help once I had drafted my application document. So for example, my resume, my cover letter, and my LinkedIn page. It was absolutely helpful to have 2 different mentors go over those documents and kind of give me their insight and put in the different words that I needed to transition into industry to turn that academic resume into an industry-like resume.
So in addition to getting his own insights into his career path and what he's enjoyed, along the way I became interested in consulting, which is outside of his expertise. But surprisingly, he had a very rich network of people and was able to connect me with someone who he had worked with who was a director at a prestigious firm that I was interested in. And so this is someone I would never have approached directly. It was a pretty intimidating title. But based on the connection, I was able to have a wonderful conversation with the director, learn a lot about working in consulting and especially at the firm and what made the firm special. And so based on that one connection, I was able to write a very strong cover letter for the job. And because he referred me to the recruiters, I think that really helped me get an invitation to interview. And so after pursuing that opportunity, I ultimately got an offer. And really, I think I trace it all back to the connection that my mentor generously offered to me that was entirely unexpected. So I think that's a huge bonus to being in a mentorship program where your mentors are these highly connected people that have really rich networks.
The most important piece of advice I think I could give someone looking for a mentor is to find someone who's honest, not just about what you can do to improve, but also about their own limits on how they can advise you. So if you can find someone that really can connect you with others in their network who are more familiar with other work environments or career choices than they are, then that's a good mentor.
I would also advise them to be prepared for each one of these meetings. The meetings can occur at any frequency, but for me, they happen once every month for a period of 6 months. And I thought it was absolutely helpful to have an agenda, so that way I could follow the different points throughout the meeting and be prepared for everything that they wanted to talk about and not be redundant or go over things that weren't planned for. I think it will definitely impact my career choice in that it will solidify it. So I at first had a broad idea of what the job was like, but having talked to my mentors and they explained to me what the everyday activities are like for that particular position, I thought it was extremely helpful because they not only talk over it over the phone, but they also explained in person what it's like for doing these particular positions. So I thought that was extremely helpful because sometimes it's really hard to picture what a job is like unless you experience it in person and someone that actually has done it before explains it to you firsthand. I also thought it was very helpful in terms of having a network, increased network in industry. Before meeting these mentors, I had basically not a lot of access to different people in industry, so I certainly think that this helped me connect with people that otherwise I would not have been able to, and this is all thanks to the program.
Well, going in, I really had only known academia, and I was really underinformed about all of my other options. And what this mentorship program really did was catalyzed my education about the diversity of jobs available out there for people with a science background. Ultimately, the structure of the program and the connections that it provided helped me find a job that I think really matches what I loved best from my academic experience that just happens to be somewhere else. And so, yeah, this mentorship was really, really critical in shaping my job search and helping provide the resources I need to find a good fit.